Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Bad Batch. So in this episode, it is episode 9 of The Bad Batch. Now it is a filler episode, but I was definitely impressed at how they handled this. So the episode starts off with them going to a planet where Sid has told them to go to mine a specific element. Obsidian, I believe is what it's called, pronounced, but I could be wrong. What happens is apparently that the mineral itself is very expensive, but before it is refined, it is very combustible. And even the smallest amount of friction or incorrect handling can cause the element to explode and unfortunately cause a lot of damage. So they decide to go into this mine. Hunter orders himself and Tech to go in while Wrecker and Omega stay outside. Now, Tech makes it clear that, hey, with all this going on, it'd probably be best to have Wrecker inside. And Hunter disagreed completely and said that there's the potential of poachers being out here and he wants Wrecker with Omega. And Omega is definitely depressed at this point with the loss of Echo. And it is very obvious. She's not 100% said it yet, but she's definitely showing those signs. While they're waiting, Tech finds a little bit of the Obsidian. They order um, Omega to come in to get it because it is too difficult for them to get. So she comes in, goes in with the drill and drills it so it's weird. So it's an element type thing, so it almost looks like a crystal. She drills into it and then drains the liquid out of it, and the liquid apparently is the part that makes it explosive. So anyway, all that being said, she grabs a couple of tubes of it, and they go to leave. While this is happening, Wrecker's outside watching everything. A poacher slash thief, I don't know how you want to describe this person or creature, um, runs over to get the ship and takes off with it. Now, we don't see much of this person or creature or species, whatever you want to call it. But what's clear is it looks like, so at first I thought it might have been Ezra because of the hair color being blue. But as we get a better look on the person, it's not actually hair, it looks like feathers. So it is unclear on who this creature was that stole the ship. And they take off with it. So the rest of the team comes out with Wrecker being there as well. And they all see the ship take off. Wrecker gets yelled at, they start fighting, all this other stuff, and it's just not going well. So they find out that they have to go to this spaceport that is however many clicks away, whatever a click is, and they start going off. Well, what happens is they see this storm coming and everything else. Apparently, there's these deer-like creatures running away. They're blue, but they look like deers. They come running towards it, a stampede. They go running. They try to, protect themselves and everything else. They have to protect the Obsidian and everything else. While this is going on, they grab their stuff and continue moving. The storm gets so close that they have to actually find shelter. Tech finds that there's another mine or mine entrance further ahead. They run towards it. Unfortunately, what happens is while they're running, the storm engulfs them, shoots the Obsidian away from them, and they get inside, but the Obsidian hits the top of the cavern and causes a cave in. So they are unable to escape. So now they're arguing and everything else, and they're pretty much bickering over nothing. Well, they're bickering over what's going on and whose fault is it, but realistically, it's pointless at this point because they're stuck behind this rock wall, unable to escape. So they start pulling the rocks away one by one. Omega snaps. Tech doesn't understand what's going on, and she wants to be alone, and she leaves. Hunter Wrecker basically explained to Tech that you need to be kinder to her. She's not dealing with the loss of Tech well, and that he needs to treat her as such because she doesn't deal with it the same way they do. So while this is going on, she finds more obsidian than you would ever imagine. She starts drilling. Um, Tech finds her and is like, "What are you doing? Do you realize if you mess up, this could cause the entire cavern that you're in to explode and lose its structure?" And she basically tells him, yeah, that's why you should leave me alone and not talk to me. So he goes, fine. And so he helps her out in the sense of giving her the tubes and everything else on to get as much obsidian as they can. So what happens is she goes to grab the last vial and drill. She slips and she falls. Tech, without hesitation or anything, jumps down with her. They fall into this watery cavern. They get sucked through this tunnel of water, and they go into a cave area. When they get inside, they see this little opening. They cannot break through, but they at least see it. They call in Hunter and Wrecker, explain what happened, tell them to grab all the obsidian that they have, have that drilled and mined, I should say, and that to bring it down, and it's not going to be an easy trip. So the two of them go through the cavern, go through the water and everything else. They come out and they throw the obsidian in, shoot it, explodes. They get out. They get to the spaceport, but it's been abandoned for a long time. But they're able to use this tower to be able to send a long distance signal. And they're asking Sid for help, and Sid's like, "Well, you're gonna have to figure it out on your own." And they're trying to convince her that we've done so much help for you. What the heck? And she's basically like, "Fine, I'll figure out what I can do in a couple of days." And they're like, "We can't do this for a couple of days," and Sid hangs up on them. So while this is going on, um, I'm sorry, while they were in the cavern, Tech and Omega have a long talk about how they deal with issues differently and how he's only been a soldier and he deals with it like a soldier. And it's not that he doesn't isn't th- isn't unhappy with what has happened with um, Crosshairs and Echo, but he knows that they are making the decision that's best for them. And so at the end of this, Wrecker and Hunter are like, "What are we gonna do now?" And Omega's like, "We'll figure out a way because we always do." And that's how the episode ends. So this episode really dealt with the fact of grief, especially on Omega's side. They're bickering. Their team dynamic is kind of very different now. They've lost two members total. Omega was definitely hurt the most out of it and not dealing with it as well as the others. Now, I shouldn't say that she's the most hurt, but she is the one who's not handling it the best, is the best way to put it. But I think she realizes that they're not gone forever, so there's a chance for them to see each other again, and that's kind of where they are at this moment. So obviously, the next episode is going to be them getting off the planet. But other than that, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I also think that there's going to be a big conflict between them and Sid, unless, of course, Sid's people are the ones that actually pick them up. But I'll be curious to see what happens. Mostly due to the fact that it's just so um, obvious that Sid really didn't want to take the time to help them out, which, isn't all that shocking, but still kind of sad. So that's pretty much all that episode was about. So if let me know in the comments whether you liked it or disliked it, all that stuff, and why. But also, if you like the content you see, please click on the eel in the corner over here. It'd be greatly appreciated, and you'll be able to get updates of new videos that I air as they come out. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.